startup in the marketing tech sector, so kind of known as MarTech. And instead of giving you guys very much a sales pitchy oriented presentation, instead what I'll do is share something that I think could be relevant for you guys also. So if we jump to the next slide, perfect. So I'll give you a little bit of a backstory here. Or I guess the lesson that I want to talk about, or the thing to talk about, is the importance of listening to your client, right? And listening to the folks that you're trying to sell to. And so the backstory for ShareRoot is we've been around for roughly about 3 years. And for our first year and a half, we were simply focused on helping brands on Pinterest. And the reason why we were focused on helping brands on Pinterest was because myself and my co-founder knew what the clients needed, knew what brands wanted without really listening to them. So within the first year and a half, we did decently well, but about halfway through our existence, we took a step back and we said, okay, let's shift how we're thinking about this. Let's talk to our clients and let's say to them, sit down in a conversation, what are we doing for you that you're liking, and what are we not doing for you that you would like to see? So we sat down with a bunch of different brands. This is a group of them. We can jump to the next one. And what was really interesting, what we found, was there was a resounding voice from all of the brands. And basically what they were saying to us was, hey ShareRoot, you've helped us do well on Pinterest. That's good and great, but we have a much larger problem here. Social media has completely changed the marketing environment for us as a brand. No matter if it's retail, hospitality, it didn't matter. Okay, so the environment has completely changed for us, and our problems are way bigger than just Pinterest. Essentially, our problem is we have to tweet, post, pin, reblog, do all this stuff we've never had to do before. We need 30 to 50 times the amount of content we've ever needed before. We have no idea where to get that content from. And by the way, more specifically, we're hearing all this awesome stuff about user-generated content. It's the most effective content out there. It's content created by consumers rather than brands, and it seems to convince people and speak to consumers more effectively. So, as a company, ShareRoot, we heard this, and we said, okay, let's dive a little bit deeper. So if you jump to the next slide, we dove deeper, and what we found was brands like Costco, brands like Coleman Camping, were actually going out and getting their hands on user-generated content. And they were doing it manually. So if you take a look at these numbers, they're pretty crazy. So per photo, a brand like Costco would go out and spend 2 to 3 hours on average per photo to get the licensing and agreement done. Next, 12-day lag time. So if you went out as Costco, you were looking to get somebody to sign over the legal rights to their document, to their photo. What you end up finding was it was going to take roughly 12 days to actually get approval. So you want to use that photo today? Too bad, you got to wait about 2 weeks. Lastly, roughly about $40 per photo for designer modification, right? So once we saw these stats as a company, we thought instantly, we know exactly what we need to do. We need to create a platform that can put user-generated content into the hands of brand marketers so that they legally can get access to that content and then use that content for whatever they wanted. If we jump to the next slide, it's been about a year since we launched ShareRoot's tool, and we found ourselves sort of stumbling into solving issues for the brands that we didn't even realize we were going to solve for them. So one thing is developing deeper relationships. This is a pretty wild example to check out. In this example, what happened is Costco, using ShareRoot's tool, requested a piece of UGC from Instagram, took that photo of these 3 guys, posted it to Facebook. One of their fans on Facebook actually goes and comments, as you can see here, says, hey Costco, I love this idea of you using my photos and other people's photos so much. I don't have an Instagram yet. I'm going to actually go out and get an Instagram so you can use my photos for your marketing, right? It's pretty wild. Another thing that we saw, if you jump to the next slide, thank you. So another thing that we saw is just increased engagement all around. And so the statistics were right. That's why brands want to get their hands on UGC. And basically what happened is you see a lift in engagement across the board. User-generated content is simply more effective at driving a marketing message. And we all really understand why. It's because we trust what our friends and what our family says, and even random people on the street, right? If a restaurant says, hey, come in here, through a TV ad, for instance, you're more likely to trust somebody who just walked out of the restaurant and says, it was awesome, right? So engagement lift across the board. This is an example from another client, UCLA. The image in the top left is one that they put together within their design studio, roughly about 2,000 engagements. Bottom right, roughly double the amount of engagements, just directly pulled from ShareRoot's tool. Very classic piece of UGC. You can tell it wasn't like mocked up or done in any beautiful way. Another example is Stubbs barbecue sauce. Same thing, image on the left, you can tell it's kind of designed up, done by a designer. Image on the right, pulled through ShareRoot's tool, a little more visually appealing, roughly double the amount of engagements. One last bit I would say is, not surprisingly, because we listened to the clients and built what they told us they wanted to see, they're pretty happy with the tool, or very happy with the tool. So we're sitting at 0% churn, which is a pretty wild position to be in, which means every single brand that is signed up for ShareRoot not only continues to use the platform, but also continues to pay for it, every single one of them. Of course, you can't maintain that long term, but within a year, it's a great number to have. And all around for the company, it's a pretty exciting time for us. I think listening to the client has been the best decision we have made. Last week, we went public on the Australian Stock Exchange, which is a unique route to fundraising. We're very, very excited about. We're going to be growing about 20 team members in the next 6 to 8 months. And renewals are starting to come in from clients, and all the indicators are great. So again, just kind of all around. One more slide, but it's the last one. Kind of useless, who knows? But yeah, so all around, just the importance of listening to your client. And of course, if you are interested in learning more about ShareRoot's product, we'll be here, Elena and I, and don't hesitate to come chat with us. Thank you. Yeah.